again to our lovely IAMPRO community. I am here today with a beautiful actress called Angela Griffin, and she is most recently known for White Lines and Harlots, but has an extensive career. She started out on the streets of Coronation Street, on the cobbles, they say, don't they, of Coronation Street, Waterloo Road, to name but a few. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her on. Hello, darling.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. I was a bit worried then. I could hear my voice coming back to me, so I was like, oh, but I think it's fine. There's no delay or anything, is there?
No, not for me anyway. Not for me.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's really a pleasure to have you, honestly.
Pleasure to be here.
Angela, as well.
I love a natter.
Oh, we love a good old natter. Well, we started to have a good old natter the other day, didn't we, when we were talking about the industry and the business, and your journey in is really interesting to me. So can we go back to the beginning and how it began for Angela Griffin?
So it began for me, really began for me when I was 6, and I got into acting then because I went to a young theatre, children's theatre workshop on a Saturday morning that was run by Leeds City Council at the time. It cost 2p to go to. If you were under 13, I think 5p if you were over 13. And every Saturday morning you would go and you would do improvisations, a bit like what is a modern day Stagecoach or Jigsaw or all the various things that happen now, but not as expensive. And I just fell in love with it. I just always loved pretending to be someone else, imagining what it was like to be somebody else. And we used to put shows on at the local civic theatre. And then I got an agent when I was 11 because someone at my theatre group was on the back of an Emmerdale tractor. And I wanted to be on the back of an Emmerdale tractor. So my mum, obviously. And my mum was like a receptionist and used to teach office skills. And my dad swept the market. So we had no clue how you kind of get into it. So we asked the mum. And she said about an agent. So I got this little agent in Leeds, Beverly, at Regency Agency. She came and watched me in Rumpelstiltskin and went, yes, I'll take her on.
Is Beverly still around?
She is still around. She's retired now, but the agency's still going.
Amazing.
She's retired now. And so I got this agent, and then I went to a school in Leeds that did GCSE dance, drama and music. And again, back in those days, that wasn't usual. Nowadays, drama is kind of everywhere. Everyone can take it. Yeah. So I had to get on 2 buses to get to this school. And Mel B was in the year above me, and Rebecca Callard. And it was kind of where the Leeds people went to try and learn their craft. Yeah. And then the ITV or Granada or Yorkshire TV, if they wanted kids at that time, like the children's ward, they would come to the schools and they would, do you remember children's ward?
Yes, I love it so much. And the biz.
So and the biz and press gang and any of those kind of, anytime they needed 13 to 16-year-olds, they'd come and do a big mass call at our school and other schools as well. And I got a couple of kids' jobs there. And then I got into Corrie when I was 16, and I stayed there till I was 21 and a half. So essentially, my drama school was Coronation Street.
Snap. Mine was EastEnders.
Yeah. Best training you'll ever get.
Well, you have to learn
stop the chip on your shoulder. Best training, but you'll feel paranoid about it for the rest of your career until you get
so interesting that, isn't it? So have you felt, I've spoken on this platform before about insecurities that I had about not having been to drama school and how that has sort of stopped me that has made me get in my own way a little bit, What are your feelings towards that, having not been? And do you have regrets that you didn't go? Do you wish you would did it a different way? Like, how do you feel about it?
So now looking back, I'm so glad that was my way in. And for many reasons, I think that drama school is brilliant because it means you get to be an actor every single day for the time that you're there, 3 years on your 3-year course. And you're using different texts and you're playing parts that you will never ever get to play during your life. So you're getting to experiment, essentially. You're getting to explore. I think that's incredible. And there is part of me actually that wishes that I had done that. A lot of my exploration has happened on jobs when, it's professional, I'm being paid for it and I can't really make mistakes. But what I feel that my way in gave me was a naturalness that hasn't been played with. But I'm a really instinctual actor, and I think that that's something that can be removed when you go to drama school, because you almost kind of start pulling things to pieces. You know, you start almost looking at your process in too much detail that you can lose that natural that instinct. That's my view. That's my view. But I also learned how to stand on a mark, find my light, make sure that I could be heard, make sure that I'm in shot. I learned about crossing of lines, mid shots. I learned the lingo of television acting, and with lots and lots of different people, learning from other actors. I learned all that on Coronation Street. And I mean, there's people who've had illustrious careers, and they've been doing it for years, and they've not done the amount of hours of TV that I've done. I think I did like 458 episodes or something ridiculous.
Oh
so that's 250 hours of TV just on one job. So I the training it gave me, the grounding it gave me, learning about story, learning about structure, learning about how a script works, learning how characters are created. Oh my God, it was invaluable. I didn't necessarily realise that I was learning all that at the time. And it's only when because I have carried a little chip on my shoulder thinking that I'm judged because I've not been to drama school. And it's only when, as I come into later life, and it's a particular actor, a particular friend who I've become friends with, who's a bit of a mentor now for me, who did go to drama school, who just basically went through what I'd learned when I was at Corrie and made me go, oh, do you know what? That was incredible training. And it's worth something. It isn't worthless. And just because I think also when we were in the soaps, it was very much seen as them over there and the proper actors. There's those actors, and then there's proper actors. Like there wasn't even like the soap awards or anything like that when I first started. It was the awards and things went on over here, and you just get on with getting 20 million viewers for every episode over here. So yeah, I now understand its worth. I wish that I had a chance to make more mistakes in drama school, but I don't think I would be the actor that I am if I'd have trained. And I quite like the actor that I am. Quite like what I do when I'm doing it. And yeah, I'm at an age now where I go, yeah, I'm worth it. I deserve it. I deserve to be here.
It's taken us 40 years, babes, to get there, hasn't it? Because I'm just sort of starting to get there now.
I also think it's a class thing. I really think it's a class thing as well. I'm from a council estate. I'm from a northern inner city council estate where you did not blow your trumpet. You were grateful be grateful for what you've got, and don't think don't let your shoes. What is it? Don't let your shoes get too big. Too big for your boots.
Too big for your boots. Yeah.
Don't get too big for your boots. So I think I've carried that around with me.
Get on with it. Yeah,
I've carried that around with me for quite a bit as well. So there's not going to drama school and being working class and feeling that I shouldn't show off. Don't show off.
Yeah,
I think all that is goes towards it.
I can relate to that so much, and the way that you just spoke about actually and going through bit by bit what we learned by being in that environment, and that somebody actually had to take you through that. Because sometimes people say to me, oh, will you come and do a workship, or will you do this? And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I do. I don't know how I teach. I don't know how to do that, because I don't really know what I do. But actually that self-analysis is really important to take stock of and know and relearn what you went through, and the amount that we did learn. And I think the most important thing is being comfortable in front of a camera and learning to make brave decisions.
Yeah. And that ease of being in front of a camera, you cannot train anybody to do that.
No.
You just the only way you get that comfortable, the only way you feel at ease is by doing it. And So I was in Lewis, and I was a detective in Lewis. So you've constantly got this role of actors coming in and out because there's a guest per episode or a couple of guests per episode. And you get people coming in who are, really brilliant actors, and you go, oh God, you've done loads. And they were really nervous. They're so nervous because even though like I said, even though they've been doing it for years, if you count up how many hours they've been in front of a camera for, it's actually quite little. And so it takes them a couple of days to remember and to get that ease and to get that comfort. It's one of the things. So every so often I'll do like a little workshop or something, and one of the biggest pieces of advice that I give to young actors is do self-tapes at home on your own. Just do them on your own. You don't have to read with anyone else. Do a monologue, but put the camera up and act in front of it. Watch it back. See what you do. Deconstruct what you do. And just get so that you are comfortable. I think younger people are more comfortable in front of cameras anyway, because we live in this digital age.
Can't get them off them. Can't get my 16-year-old off.
So there's a certain amount of comfort in that, but just as much experience as you can get. It doesn't have to be professional experience, but just so that you know how that camera works and to get in front of it and feel comfortable, because that is half the battle when you walk onto set. Is to not feel like you've just walked into, a really alien place.
It's quite comforting actually to hear, that other actors do get nervous on the first day of set, because it can be intimidating no matter how much experience you've got. I still get really nervous, and especially if I'm about to start a run of a play, I walk into the rehearsal room and have imposter syndrome. Are you sure you want to give me the job? Am I right for it? Are you sure? I've almost talked a director out of it before.
But it's different with theatre. I don't have that ease in theatre as I do in TV.
Right.
It maybe if I'd been to drama school, then I might have done. But for me, theatre is like, even though that's what I did when I was a kid, I find it ridiculously intimidating to walk into the rehearsal room on the first day, because I think that I'm getting over it now, but I think that everyone goes, what's she doing here? She's not a proper actor. And it's only now as I'm building up and I've got more of a portfolio of theatre on my CV that I go, but I know I might not have trained, but I can do it. I can still do it.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I've been through almost exactly the same feelings. I think it's really encouraging for our young creatives on this platform to hear that we all go through that, and it's a completely normal process, and to learn how to accept it. I mean, how do you accept it? How do you get on with those nerves?
So I think that my nerves are huge, and I think that everyone can see how nervous I am. And then what I've now discovered is that my nerves must go inwards. I feel like my heart is racing, I'm shaking, I'm sweating. I think that if I look in the mirror, I will be pale and sweating and everything. And no one ever knows that I'm nervous. So everyone is nervous on the first day. Doesn't matter how long they've been doing it for. But some people just internalize it rather than externalizing it. And I think the ones maybe who externalize it don't become actors. And the ones who somehow manage to, because I don't control them. On the first night of a play, the first night when you go on, I stand on the side of the stage and I go, this is not healthy. I am going to have a heart attack because my heart rate is like I'm running a marathon, and I don't think I can get myself onto stage. Someone's going to have to push me. And then I walk on and somehow my lines come out. And somehow I do what we've been doing in rehearsal. And I step out of my body and go, I don't know how you're doing this because you're so scared. But I just think you just somehow, I just think you somehow just control it. And that's the people who can control it, carry on doing it for a career, and the people who can't.
Yeah. It's quite a meditative process, I think, isn't it? And there's a lot of, I've shared this before, but a director said to me, you've done the work. Now all you have to do is trust that it's all there. Forget it and trust that it's there.
It is jumping off a cliff. It is categorically jumping off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's actually making me feel. I can smell the side of like the theatre and the.
I know.
And it's that feeling of
no getting out of it.
Once I'm on, I can't get off. Like once I'm on, that's the play has started, and I can't just stop it like in rehearsal.
I'm like, I'd rather get run over by a bus now, please. Can something happen to make this stop? Why do we?
But then we just keep on doing it because
we do. Have you ever forgotten lines on stage?
Yes. Yes.
What did you do? What happened?
In possibly the worst place to ever do it in, it was called The Captive Queen, and it was at the Globe. It was inside at the Sam Wanamaker, and the whole play was in rhyming couplets. The whole play. So if you forget your line, you can't just make it up. God. Because unless you can impro in rhyming couplets, you can't do it. And I remember, and I was circling this other actress, and I was really having a go at her, and I was going to attack her with some scissors. And so it was this anger, and it completely went. So I just carried on circling her, and I just stopped talking and was breathing, and just going, I'm gonna have to go off. In my head, I thought, I've got 10 seconds of this, then I'll have to leave the stage because I don't know what my line is. And I walked, and then it just came back. It's the scariest 10 seconds on stage I've ever had, because I have forgotten lines before, and I've forgotten cues, and nobody dies. Someone either helps you out, or you make something up. In my head, I was like, I can't make this up. I literally can't. This is it. This is ridiculous. It's like, it's not even a normal talk anyway. I can't make it up. So, but you know what? Nobody dies.
Yeah. Nobody dies. That's good.
Nobody dies.
Yeah.
That's what we always have to remember.
Yeah.
When you're on stage, nobody dies.
It feels like a lifetime. 10 seconds.
It's a long time.
It's a long time on stage when all eyes are on you, But no, you're right. It's, just let it go and trust that it will come back. And if not, someone else will help. Just shout help.
Yeah. That's it. They'll just have to put the curtain down.
Yeah. So can I talk a little bit? Can we go into your process and building a character? And when you get a script, what is the first thing you do, whether it's for an audition or if you've got the job? How do you begin to build a character? How much of yourself do you bring to that character? Do you create something completely new? Can you talk us through that a little bit?
So when I get so if I get the job, so I actually get a full script, because nowadays when you audition, you very rarely get a full script. So you just get 4 pieces of paper and you have to just make it up. But so say I've got the job. I think my first thing to do is go through everything. And in drama school, I've learned that this is called the given circumstance. This is something I did this normally anyway. And then when with my mentor who I speak to, I got told that that's actually something that you learn. It's called your given circumstances. So you go through it and you find out what your given circumstance is. So I go through and I find out what is in the script that is absolutely definite. So someone will refer to my character as, oh, she's a bit loud and a bit whatever, so that's a given circumstance. She comes from here, she lives. Any fact that is put into the script, I take those facts, and I love writing things down. So I always have a little book. I love starting a new book for a new job. And in the book, that's my first page will be the given circumstances. And then I just make it up. After that, I work out what is useful to make each of the scenes work. What choice can I make about this character that will add a layer to the scenes going ahead? And a lot of times, none of this will ever come out. No one knows about it. Only I know about it. And so, for example, I will say that this person's got a secret. You know, she used to shoplift when she was 14. So, you know, every time she walks into a shop now, she still gets that little feeling. She still gets that little kleptomaniac feeling of maybe wanting to just pick something up. So that's not, no one knows about that, but that just adds a little history to. So it's like, well, if she was a shoplifting, why was she shoplifting? Is it because she was a kleptomaniac? Is it because she was poor? Is it because of, and I just try and build layers. And this is with any character. This is going in and doing one episode of something, because it all helps, no matter what. It all helps, because it can inform so many of your lines that you go, not really doing anything in this, not really doing anything in this scene. If you've added a history, you can make something matter in those scenes. You can make each of those lines have an action, even though there really isn't, even though the scene's not even about you. I've just done it on a job where it is not about me. I'm, you know, very low down in the cast list. Jodie Comer and Stephen Graham are the leads in it.
Amazing. Two of my absolute favourites,
and they are incredible. And it is about, but it's about them, and I'm playing a character that is really there to support them. It's very much supporting actor, and and so you get to, it's like you've got something to do, but you haven't got loads to do, and there are not very many given circumstances within the script, because it's not about you. So I set about creating this woman, and it's all set in a care home. So it's like, right, my character is married. She is a Christian. She's very much into giving, and she very much loves her family at home, and she does this because she loves this job. She loves working in a care home, but it's not her entire life. She doesn't want to spend her evenings there. She wants to spend Christmas at home. And I created this whole family for her and her husband.
So that wasn't there for you in the script. No. This is something that you have built to just enrich what you're doing.
So that when I am going to leave the care home, where it's just like, all right, cool, brilliant, I'll see you all tomorrow. I've got to get home because I've got to get the kids. So this is in my head, and I'm always late because they're always making me stay late at this care home. So when I'm leaving, it's just right, I'm gonna go. Just to give it something else. So it's like, why am I? Where am I going? So it isn't a boring line anymore.
Yeah, amazing.
So just little things like that, and it isn't something in theatre. We probably have that discussion in the rehearsal room, and you probably talk to everyone about who your family is and where you've come from and what your upbringing is and so on. And so everyone will kind of know about those decisions you've made. In TV, that doesn't happen so much.
Yeah, that's going to be
have to do it for your own.
Yes.
Just for yourself.
So that's not something you have time in TV really to present to a director, is it?
Yeah, and they're not really that interested. In fairness, in TV, they're not massively interested in it. Sometimes I'll go through with the director if I'm doing a recall, because I'll do it for the first audition. I just do the lines and give them something, and then once I get if I get a recall, and then when I'm with the director, then I'll sit and maybe discuss with the director then. Some of the choices that I've made, some of the things that I have put into this character to inform certain lines. So they might be interested in them, but once you're on set,
that's why they chose you, because you've made those choices already. And they liked them, and so you got the job. I heard something once. I don't know if you've heard this before. I think I'm going to get it right, although I'm slightly winging it. Television is for the director, film is for the editor, and theatre is for the actor.
Yeah, that's very interesting,
isn't it? So in the theatre, it's the only time where you can actually ignore everything the director said if you want to when you go on there. It's all about your instinctive decisions, and then the I think I've got that the right way around. The film is all, or maybe the film's all about the director and the TV is all about the edit. I can't remember which way around those two go, but it's quite interesting, isn't it?
It really is. I'm actually doing a film at the moment, and on Monday, is it Monday? What day are we on? Wednesday. Yeah, so I was on set on Monday, and I actually we were going through the scene. It's quite a tricky scene, and I'm working with this 26-year-old actress, and she was finding it particularly tricky. And the director just kept coming and going, "Oh right, no, we need to do this on a 45. Actually, get the 55 out, because we need it to be this, and I need to. So if you can just make it a little bit smaller there, because I need to be able to cut into this when I'm." And I actually turned around and went, "Did you used to be an editor? How have you got? And he was like, "Yeah, that's exactly where I started. I started in editing, and then he's become a director, and it's all about the pictures in film."
Yeah.
And I've not done very many films, and this is my first ever little indie budget film,
right?
Low budget film, and it was so interesting because it's just all about the pictures.
Yeah.
And we are having to do a bit of creating and talking here, because that's where they're at now. It's like, what is this going to look like? Yeah, it's really interesting that.
How have you approached the script for film any differently to how you would TV or theatre?
Not particularly, no. I think when I'm doing theatre, I do very little work beforehand, funnily enough. Don't learn the lines. I do because I just go, we've got 3, well, hopefully 4 weeks. I've done 3 weeks rehearsals before. That's where we're going to do the work, and it feels like it's communal. The work that you do in theatre, it feels like everyone's involved in all the decisions. Everyone should know what you're thinking, what you're doing. So I probably do less prep for theatre. TV, I do quite a lot of prep, loads of prep.
That's where you have the least amount of time, I think.
Yeah, and that's it. Because we're filming 2.5 pages on this film. It's like, it's amazing. It's because of the amount of different shots that we're doing. But no, I think I probably did I probably do as much prep for film as TV. Yeah. Well, I'm always split screen into theatre and screen, so save for screen.
Right. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. There's just so much more time, isn't there, in theatre? What I'm always quite interested in, which I sometimes struggle with myself, is when you film out of chronological order and mapping your journey. And sometimes you have to come into a scene that is filmed at some heightened state, which is filmed before the first part of that scene, and you don't know where you're going to end up. And I know they are very considerate, aren't they, production, as much as they can be with the logistics of that. But sometimes you really do have to pick up in the middle of the scene. Now, how do you keep track of your story? Do you have any? I sometimes like to keep a diary, but I just like to pick up tips around what other actors do to manage that challenge, because it can be challenging, I think.
So for me, that was one of the things that doing the long running shows has taught me, because you just haven't got like now, if you're on like a drama, they will try really hard to do it in order. But on the long running things, if it's all in one location, it's all in one location, and so they will just shoot absolutely everything from episode 1 to episode 4 all over the place and all that order, because it's all about economic economizing on time. And so that's where I kind of learned. And so for me, I get rid of most of the script. So by the time we get to shooting, I've emptied out everybody else's lines. And I use a number system of 1 to 10 for whatever emotion it is, so that I know. So if you're like doing something like horror, so you're screaming pretty much the whole way through, you can't just stay on you can't be peaking all the way through. So I'll do like a number on each scene of where I am emotionally, either if I'm upset or horror or whatever it is. And so from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And I always put at the top of my scene where I've come from and where I'm, and then at the end of it, where I will be going to.
Right.
So that I'm aware of that. And
Yeah.
I kind of just I don't take into account anything else in the script apart from my character's journey. If something is, if like 3 days have passed, but no time in the script, so say there's no scenes in between, and there's been quite a big emotional change, then I'll write that down in the notes on my script. But I literally just do a, where have I come from, where am I going, what number am I at?
Right.
Feels a little bit
I've not
simplistic,
heard
but
that one. No, I've not heard it before, and it makes complete sense. And with regard to, ask this quite a lot, sort of offerings on the day, you know, like speaking to a director about suggestions, given the time limitations and all that sort of thing. If you've got your own ideas about what props you might be using or where you might be going, how brave are you in terms of that and working along, like offering stuff to a director? Do you just do it, offer it up without talking about it? Like, what advice would you have to a young creative that's about to step on set for the first time? Because I know as experienced actors, we just think, I'm just going to do that. But that takes a lot of practice and being really brave.
This was the conversation I was having on Monday with this actress, and because she wasn't happy with what we were doing, and I got it. It was really tricky. The lines were tricky, and I could see that she was struggling with it, and I could hear kind of what it was that she wasn't comfortable with, that she didn't have the confidence to say it out loud.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I had a huge chat with her about it. Yeah, it is really scary. My suggestion to her was, especially on the film, because we've got more time, is do whatever the director tells you to do, and then just say, brilliant, now you've got that, could I just try one for me? Could I just try one for me? Because there's a bit that and so I think poo-pooing what the director is saying. I know actors who do that, and that isn't that absolute confidence thing. I'm not at that point, because I just think they know what they can see. I have a lot of trust in the director. They know what they've got in the can already. They know what they want in their edit. They know the thing. So I will give them what they want, but I will always say, I'm struggling maybe a little bit with that line, and so would you mind if we just did, so apologetic, so female, guys don't do this, would you mind awfully,
sorry, do you mind just
sorry, really apologetic, would you mind if we just did one for me? And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to do, offer up your own thing, but in all fairness, most of the time I just do what I want to do. I change all the lines I want to change, and I just do it until someone tells me to stop doing it.
Well done.
Is what, and again, that's coming from So Planned, because God, if you try and change a line, if you go and say, I can't say this, they've got to go into this office and go to that office and go upstairs and and there's a million things that they have to go through to change a line that really doesn't matter.
So actually, in the soap, you know how to say how your character talks better than anyone, you know. So
exactly. And I do that on every job. I change every line to make it fit my mouth. Until someone says to me, you know, continuity come up and say, I'm sorry, could you just say this line? And I'll go, oh yeah, no problems. Then I'll say their line. But I've got a couple in the can where I've said it the way I want to say it.
Oh, that's satisfying.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. I want to see it. So on our platform, we're really trying to help young people break into the industry. You know, it can be unaffordable and inaccessible for so many people. What advice would you have for anyone listening to this with regards to getting an agent and breaking into the industry? Sort of, what would you have to say?
It's really tough. I thought it was tough when I was younger getting in, but you know, I could go to a Saturday morning theatre workshop for 2p, and I could go to a school up north where theatre production companies and channels would come in and audition. So there was a way in. I feel when I was younger. That is also a way of doing it now. A lot of these stage schools have got agents that are connected to them. And there are some affordable theatre companies. They've really got to look for them.
Yeah.
I think, was it Identity in South
Yeah.
London?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
And there's because I'm really passionate about getting people who don't live in London into the industry, because there is things in London, there is access, there are free workshops. And the Royal Court will do a free workshop for young kids to come in, and it feels like there's so much access to more affordable things down here, whereas if you're up north, you just feel like everything's happening down south and you can't even afford the coach down. But there are things there if you look, and you've got to find and experience as much as you possibly can do, and get involved in youth theatre, get involved in when the theatres are doing open days or whatever. Go and get experience, talk to people, get contacts, immerse yourself within it. And if you don't want to immerse yourself in it, then just don't do it, because it means that you're not that bothered about it. My kids kind of have dabbled in it, and then I'll go, well, why don't you go and do this thing, and why don't you go to this class? And I can't be bothered. It's like, then I'm not helping you, because you have got to want to do it so much, because it's really hard. It's not nursing, I know that, but it's relative. Oh no, everything's relative. There are so many knockbacks, there are so many you are not right, there's so many things to take personally. It can really, really damage your self-confidence, ego, everything. So you have to want it more than anything else in the entire world, so that you're willing to take the mass of rejection that you will get. So you have to find things, you've got to dig out things and show your passion and show how much initiative you've got. And so you can go to the theatre schools, you can go and they usually, like I said, have something attached. Drama school is a great way in, there's no denying it, because you get, at the end of your time, you get your showcase, and all the agents come to see it, and then there's a chance of getting an agent. So it is a good option if you want to go down that route. But if not, it's tenacity. It's writing those letters, it's getting those headshots, it's getting a copy of the book Contacts, which has got every production company, every agent, all their addresses and all their phone numbers, and you get your headshot, write a letter, a covering letter, why they should choose you, and you send it to all of them, and you chase it up, and you because that just shows how much you want it and how much you're prepared to do for it. And in the letter you say, I'm a member of this youth theatre, and I've done this at school, and I've done this volunteering here, and I've gone and helped do drama with kids on a Saturday. You just got to show your passion, I think. And
it is possible. It's possible. If we keep landing on so-and-so's casting director's desk, they're going to pay attention at some point. And I think what's interesting with the new wave of casting directors coming through, I had an interesting chat the other day with one, and it's not about, yes, drama school's amazing and to have that luxury of training every day, but they just want to see that you can do the job when you're in the room, and I think there is a lot more sort of raw casting going on, which I think is
really worth, it's really worth watching those shows that you like, looking at who the casting directors are, going on Instagram or Twitter and follow them.
Yes, good.
Because
good.
There was Des Hamilton who cast Top Boy and stuff. He put something on his Instagram the other day that they wanted mixed race and black kids who look between 16 and 18, but they're over 18. Right. Open casting call. There, it's right there on his. Anybody can do it. Open door. I can't think of any of their names now. Annalie Power. There's so many of them, and there are a lot of open calls because they want raw talent. You don't have to train. You don't have to train. They want the rawness of people who've maybe lived the experience as well. So if you follow them, you will see those notes, and then you look at who they follow, because they'll all arty each other's tweets and stuff, and then you follow those, and you basically just do a little bit of cyber stalking with casting directors, because they're the ones who can get you through the door.
Really good tip. Yeah.
And if there's a particular director that you like, massive name drop now, but my brother Max Beasley, I think you know, he's just done
platform. He's been fantastic.
He's just done a film with Guy Ritchie, and he was talking to Guy Ritchie about the whole thing. And Guy Ritchie's advice to him was, find the directors that you like, write them a letter. They've all got massive egos. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them that you'll work for nothing, and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. So do that. See who, but don't just do it blanket to everyone. You've got to like their work and stuff.
Shane Meadows is mine, so I might go and do some stalking.
Do it.
Myself.
Just do it. Just write him a letter.
Shane, give me a job.
That's it. Just write him a letter.
I've done it. I have written letters in the past.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
When I was, but I certainly need to get back on that, you know. And then I got into, I've been doing theatre quite a lot of the last few years, which has been nice. But yeah, no, I'd love
Spotlight. You can't get a job without Spotlight.
Yeah.
You've just got to be on Spotlight. And once you're on Spotlight, you can also sign up to every casting that ever happens in any office, anywhere, goes on the Spotlight casting.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go through that and you can go, well, I'd be good for that, and I'd be good for that, and I'd be good for that. And then you can write off and say, and put yourself forward for them. But you have to be on Spotlight.
Yeah. Brilliant. We've got a little visitor coming in there.
Oh, I think it was a big visit. I think it might have been a big husband.
All right, darling. Listen, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time and really invaluable advice. Thank you, Angela.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm going to say goodbye now, and thank you from our IAMPRO community, and hopefully we'll see you on one of the masterclasses sometime soon, maybe.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye.